This is Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I got a chance to see some footage of Artur Szpilka back in the gym with Ronnie Shields, training down in H-Town at the Plex gym. And we know Ronnie Shields and his strength and conditioning performance programs. You know, he gets your agility right, your speed, your, quickness, reaction time, your overall strength. Good trainer, man. So it's good to see Szpilka back in the gym, although I did see some footage of him. I uploaded a video a few months ago, man, when he was doing some sparring with Eric Molina. He looked good in that sparring session. It was actually the sparring getting Molina prepared for his fight with Tomasz Adamek in Poland, and Molina was able to go over there and get the knockout win. Funny because Artur Szpilka, I know after the fight, he was in the corner of Tomasz Adamek, Polish brethren, so I understand that, you know what I mean? But he looked good in the clips that I've seen, man. The speed's there, the footwork, the head movement. Doesn't like he's missing a beat. He did get knocked out violently against Deontay Wilder. Now with that fight, and I'm gonna stay true to form, I'm not gonna switch up. And I watched the fight even after a few times after I watched it the first time, and I still have Szpilka ahead on them scorecards, man. Four rounds for Szpilka, 3 for Wilder, and 1 was even. If I know some people had Wilder, the judges had Wilder winning, but I thought Szpilka did a good job in that fight. And I had him winning by 1 point at least, but Wilder came with the equalizer, the big right hand, and got the victory. Now that I think about it, Szpilka actually got a unanimous decision against Tomasz Adamek too. But one thing about Szpilka though, in his last few fights and him working with Shields, just in my opinion, watching him, he looks a little bit more polished, a little bit more sharpened with his attack. His defense looks a little bit more responsible, although he did get caught. He got knocked out, and that happens in the heavyweight division. But he looks a little bit sharper, in my opinion, than when I seen him years ago. So I like to see him back in the ring. And when I say years ago, I mean the fights against like Malo and Brian Minto, and those are some very good fights, especially the fight with Malo. Even the Jamel McCline fight. I mean, he just looks he looks a lot more sharper in the last 2 years or so, just in my opinion. But he signed with Heyman. He can get a plethora of fights. We know Heyman has a huge stable of heavyweights. I wouldn't mind seeing Szpilka in there with a guy like Kaufman or I was talking to somebody offline the other day, and they were saying, how about a rematch with Jennings? Although Jennings was ahead well on those scorecards, and he got the TKO victory over Szpilka. I think Szpilka's a better fighter from when he fought Jennings, although that was the beginning of 2014. But like I said, he just looks a little bit more sharper to me. And I'm not exactly sure when him and Shields started working together. I'm not sure they were together for that first Jennings fight. But even if they were, he's came along and he just looks sharper to me. And just the footage that I've seen in the Wilder fight, just looks sharper, looks a little bit more, as fighters go, they start to calm down in the ring a little bit. And it looks like he's gotten to that stage of his career where, because in the Wilder fight, I thought he was going to be a little bit more aggressive with his attack. And he was actually fighting from the outside pretty decently, a lot of good feints. That's another thing that I think he's added to his arsenal, is his feints. He's just not lunging and leaping in, but just getting this out there, man. I like Artur Szpilka, always have, so I'm just getting this news out there. I was one of the first ones on here, man, when they first made the Szpilka-Wilder fight. I believe I was the only guy on here that came out with a video saying that, hey, man, Szpilka's no bum. At least I was the first, at least. And he did get knocked out, like I said, but he proved those first, 7, 8 rounds, man. He wasn't no bum, and it wasn't going to be an easy night for Deontay Wilder. But I like to see Szpilka thrown back in the mix. Maybe get him in there with Gerald Washington or Dominic Brazil, Charles Martin if he comes back. I know Glasscoff is due back at the end of the year, I think. And you could, throw him in there with him. Lucas Brown's suspension is going to be uplifted September 5th, A lot of interesting fights, man. So you guys let me know what you think about this training footage and what you think about Artur Szpilka coming back. Who would you like to see him fight? I'm out.